As human beings, and especially when we are going through a tough situation or a tough moment in our lives, and we seek either help or we find someone to speak to, or we share our situation with others, it's just natural that we expect or we have set expectations of what we want to hear back from them. We mostly don't want to be judged harshly. We don't want to be judged negatively. We don't want to be told that our thinking is not right. We don't want to be told how we are handling the situation is not right. Mostly, we want to be validated in our decisions, our choices, our actions. We want them to just tell us what we want to hear. Okay, that has been me this week. Story time. So, hello guys, welcome to my Unspoken Journal. This is episode 4. If you haven't watched episode 1 to 3, let me just remind you that 4 months ago, now 4 months, my husband woke up and left. And about 2 months later, he woke up, gave me a call, and said, I'm not taking care of my financial responsibility in that marriage. We are separated because he left. We are still married legally. And I still live the life that we lived together because in 4 months, very little adjustments have been possible. So this week, I woke up and called my lawyer, and I told my lawyer I would like to have a conversation about the big D. And in brief, I said what I want to discuss, and he quickly said, we can only do this in the office. So I was given an appointment, which was 3 days from the day I called, to visit him in the office. I will summarize this because I can't go into the nitty-gritties of what we discussed, but I want to share with you what I left that office with. Number one, my lawyer listened to me very carefully and very attentively. I honestly felt so valued in that office, in that boardroom. And I will tell you, I had high expectations of what he's going to say back to me. But this is what he said. Number one, he said, 4 months, you are still sore. You're still grieving. You are in a very early stage of your grieving. You are in pain emotionally. You are not thinking straight. So the question of the big D cannot be discussed now. I'm going to tell you what the big D is. I don't know what you're thinking. Number two, in our conversations, we talked about the plans I have, the plans I had, what I am thinking, what goals did I set for this year, did I do a vision board? We talked about personal space, my personal space. And this is what he said as number two. Even before this man left, you had plans. Even before you knew whether this living was going to be permanent, was going to last 4 months, or going to last how long, we don't know, you set goals for 2025. Even before you figured out, because you haven't figured out what you want to do, even with this pain you are in, you created a vision board. So why are you not focusing on these things and focusing on the pain, the separation, the divorce, the big D? Why? He told me, I want you to start focusing on the goals you set for 2025. I want you to start focusing on the vision board you created. I want you to start focusing on the plans you already had. Even with him in your life, you still had plans for yourself. So those plans should not go with him. That's number 2. Number 3, he told me, I'm going to see you again in 1 month, but in 1 month, I just want to see and hear from you. What of those plans, what from your vision board, what from your 2025 goals have you started working on, what progress you have made, and how you feel about it? Number 4, he told me, my advice to you is a legal advice on the question you came to ask me. I'm not a therapist, and I highly recommend you find a therapist. Someone who you can speak to, someone who is going to help you manage your situation. Where you are emotionally, where you are mentally, you need someone to walk that journey with. And last but not least, he told me if we are to discuss the big day, maybe after 6 months. And in those 6 months, I should know why I want the big day. He said the things the big D is likely to bring to you is, if you want to be paid alimony, then the big D might. If you have property together and you want to get your share, then the big D will facilitate the process. If you have children together and you're not getting maintenance, then the big D will help you go for that process. If you want to get married, you're in a relationship, you want to move on, or you're not in a relationship, but you want to be able to get into a relationship, you're thinking, I want to move on and move on to another man, then the big D will be good for you so that then you're not caught up. So in 6 months, figure out why the big D, and we can talk about it then. Guys, if you are in my situation, if you're going through separation, if you are apart, living together, but living together like you don't live together, like you don't know each other, you're just housemates. So the relationship died a long time ago. The marriage died a long time ago. You're just there hanging in there, and you've been thinking about the big D, and you don't know what to do. I hope that this feedback from my lawyer that I'm sharing with you is going to help you to think through that. I'll be honest with you, it's not what I expected to hear from him. I expected that he's going to tell me, yes, this man is bad. I expected that he's going to tell me, when do we start? I expected that he's going to tell me, this is how much it's going to cost you, go prepare yourself. In fact, when I asked him how much I need to pay for that consultation, he said, let's talk in 1 month. If you haven't started focusing on yourself and doing something for yourself from the list of things you have put down as goals, as plans, as a vision board, then I will send my invoice. This brings me to the end of episode 4 of my spoken journal, The Big D. He finally said, focus, replace your D with a G, meaning replace the thought of your divorce with the thought of your growth. True.